All right, so welcome. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go over the evens on our review for our test. So the first one we're going to do is number 2. So it says, given the true statement, if a person is eligible to vote, then that person is a citizen. Which statement must also be true? So first thing you always need to do is underline your hypothesis. So a person is eligible to vote, that's our hypothesis, and label it with P, and then we need to circle our conclusion. And that person is a citizen, and that is Q. Okay, so then we got to go through and we got to look here. And they've given us some different statements, and we have to decide if they're going to be true or false. And remember, if you can find one counterexample, then that would be false. So let's start, we'll start from D and go up to A. So Morgan has never voted, therefore he is not a citizen. Okay, so never voted. Does that have anything to do with what our original statement says? No. We don't care about if you voted before or not. It's just, are you eligible to vote? Then that means you're a citizen. Okay, C. Marie is not eligible to vote, therefore she is not a citizen. So they're saying she is not eligible to vote, therefore she is not a citizen. Okay, so this is like not P, then not Q. Let's think about it. Can we come up with one example of when someone might not be eligible to vote but still be a citizen? Well, there actually is. There are a few cases, but the main one is if you have committed a felony, you lose your right to vote. So we can eliminate C because we came up with a counterexample. So our counterexample is that if you've committed a felony. All right, how about B? It says Juan is a citizen. Okay, so that's actually Q, right? So Q. Therefore, he is eligible to vote. That's P. So what they've done is Q, then P. All right, again, let's think about it. You're a citizen, therefore you're eligible to vote. Is there any time where you could be a citizen and not be eligible to vote? Yes, again, if you have committed a felony, then you would not be able to vote. So we can get rid of B. A, Kayla is not a citizen, so that's not Q. Therefore, she is not eligible to vote. That's not P. Okay, now here's the thing. This is the contrapositive, not Q, then not P. That is the contrapositive. If your original statement is true, then your contrapositive would also be true. So A is our answer. Number 4. What is the contrapositive of the statement, if I study, then I pass the test? So again, to show your work, underline your hypothesis and label it, circle and label your conclusion. So you have if P, then Q. Your contrapositive, and I'm just going to abbreviate, is not Q, then not P. So we want to look for, they're going to talk about not passing the test, then not study. So that's kind of like the basis that we're looking for. So now we'll go and look at our answer choices. If I pass the test, I pass the test if I study? No, that's just kind of a rewording of our original. If I do not study, then I do not pass the test. That looks like it matches, so that's a possibility. C. If I do not pass the test, then I do not study. Yeah. If I pass the test, then I study. No, those are both in the affirmative. So we're looking at the two that have nots in it. And so then let's look. What are we wanting them to say not about first? Not passing the test. So which of these two talks about not passing the test? B or C? Well, C talks about not passing the test. And that was our conclusion. And we want not Q, then not P. So there we go. That's C. Number 6. What is the converse of the statement? Remember, converse is like reverse. Okay, so all you got to do is take P and Q and switch them. So let's find P and Q here. So if it is Monday, so that's P, then I am watching Gossip Girl. That's Q. And for the converse, we want Q, then P. So we want them to say, if I am watching Gossip Girl, then it is Monday. Okay, so A, if it is not Monday, then I'm not watching Gossip Girl. No, that's just the inverse. If I am not watching Gossip Girl, then it is not Monday. That's close, but this is actually the contrapositive. We don't want anything negated. C, if I am watching Gossip Girl, then it is Monday. Okay, that looks like a possibility. And then D, if I am watching Gossip Girl, then it is not Monday. Well, there we go. That one's negated. And does that follow along with what we need? No. So our only option is C. Okay. Now these next two are going to be determining if we're using the law of detachment or the law of syllogism and if the statement is valid. So we're going to do number 8 and then number 10. So if points A, B, and C are collinear, then they all lie on the same line. So first we got to find P and Q. So points A, B, and C are collinear, that's P. Then they all lie on the same line, that's Q. Now let's look what our second statement talks about. A, B, and C are collinear. Well, does that reference your hypothesis or does it reference your conclusion? It's referencing the hypothesis, so we label it with P. Then they conclude that A, B, and C are on the same line. What does that reference? Your conclusion. So according to our notes on the law of detachment, it has to go if P, then Q, P, Q. And so this followed that order, so it is valid. And it would be the law of detachment. Okay? All right, number 10. So if you are published, then you wrote a good article. So this is P, writing a good article. That's Q. All right, number 2. Kendra wrote a good article. Does that reference P or does that reference Q? Good article was in Q, so this is Q. So then it says Kendra was published. So what does that reference? P. So it looks like they're trying to do the law of detachment here, but if you'll notice, Q and P are in the wrong order. It always has to go in that same order. It's got to talk about P, and then it's got to talk about Q. So this is invalid. Invalid. All right, very good. Alrighty, now we'll go on. We'll do number 12 together. So these are kind of reviewing what we know about angles and about line segments. So knowing your vocabulary is very important here. So it says, given that segment JB is the segment bisector of segment AD, and AD is equal to 24, and AZ is equal to 2x plus 4, find the value of x. So right away, JB is the segment bisector of AD. So we can mark that AZ and ZD are both congruent. And we should write that AZ is equal to ZD. So we know that those two are equal to each other. And then they tell us that AZ is 2x plus 4. So I'm going to label that 2x plus 4. Guys, labeling is very, very important. You must do that. And then they also tell us that AD, so from A to D, that's 24. Now think about it. What does a bisector do? It cuts the original segment into 2 equal parts. So 1/2 of this line is going to be equal to the other half. So if the whole thing is 24, what is only half of it going to be? 12. So we can say 1/2 of AD is equal to AZ, the one that we know, right? So 1/2 times 24 is equal to 2x plus 4. And what's 1/2 of 24? Well, it's 12. So 12 is equal to 2x plus 4. And then now what we need to do, so we have 12 is equal to 2x plus 4. We can come over here and rewrite it. And if you like, you can rewrite it with the variables on the left. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 12. So now we just got to solve. We want the 2x to be alone. We have plus 4, so we're going to get rid of it with minus 4. So we have 2x is equal to 8. So divide by 2, x is equal to 4. And that's what they're asking us for, to find the value of x. So we are done. All right, now number 14. It says if the measure of angle 1 is 3x minus 14, so I'm going to go ahead and label that 3x minus 14, and the measure of angle 2 is 2x plus 4, so 2x plus 4, find the value of x. Okay, well, we need to understand the relationship between angle 1 and angle 2. Look what they make together. A straight line. So we can say the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. Because two angles that add up and they make a line, it's always going to add up to 180. So we're going to plug in here. For the measure of angle 1, they told us it's 3x minus 14. And then plus, and now measure of angle 2 is 2x plus 4, and that's equal to 180. All right, now we've got to combine like terms and then start to get our x's alone. So we have a positive 3x and a positive 2x. What are those two together? 5x. And then you have a negative 14 plus a positive 4. They have different signs, so you subtract them. So 14 minus 4, which is 10. And then the negative one is bigger, so it's going to be negative 10. So minus 10 equals 180. All right, and then now all we have to do is start to move our different parts around. So the first thing we're going to move is this minus 10, because you want to leave the x where it is. So plus 10 and plus 10. So we have 5x is equal to 190. And now all we have to do is our last step is divide by 5, and x, if you do 190 divided by 5, you will get 38. So x is 38. Now, they may ask you to find the actual measure of one of the angles. So what you would do with your x is you would plug it back in to whichever one they want you to find, and then work it out and find out the actual number that it would be. So make sure that you're able to do that. All right, now our last one we'll do together is number 16. So it says RV bisects angle SRT. And then they're saying the measure of angle SRV is equal to 8x plus 5, and the measure of angle TRV is 4x plus 45. And they want us to find the measure of angle SRT. And it says, hint, draw and label a picture. All right, so you've got to start off with your angle. We always start off with our angle SRT, and it doesn't really matter how you draw it, as long as you label it S, R, and T. Now don't draw it too small because you're not going to have any room. And then it says RV. So this should be ray RV bisects angle SRT. So RV has to start at point R, and it goes, and it's going to go through point V. So right there. So that is bisecting. Now remember, what does bisecting do? It cuts this big angle on the outside into two equal parts. So we can say that SRV is congruent to VRT. And that's what I'm going to put over here. The measure of angle SRV is equal to the measure of angle VRT. Okay, now we'll go through and we'll label here. SRV is 8x plus 5. So SRV is 8x plus 5. And then TRV, so TRV is 4x plus 45. And what do we know about these two? They are equal. So we can know that 8x plus 5 is equal to 4x plus 45. And then now we have to solve for x, because in order to find the measure of SRT, we have to find out the measure of these guys. And in order to do that, we need to know x. So we've got x's on both sides. I want to get them only on one side. I'm going to take this 4x over to the 8x. So it's positive 4x. I'm going to use minus 4x to cancel that. And over here, minus 4x. Okay, 4x and minus 4x cancel. Bring down our equal. All we have left is 45. And 8x minus 4x is 4x, and we still have plus 5. Now we're just a two-step equation. So get rid of this plus 5 with minus 5. Those cancel, so we have 4x is equal to, and 45 minus 5 is 40. Divide both sides by 4, because we only want one x. So x is equal to, and 40 divided by 4 is 10. So x is 10, but we're not done, because we want to know the actual size of this big angle. So the first thing we need to do is take x and plug it into one of these two expressions. We only need to plug it into one of them because we know that both of the angles are equal. So x equals 10. Well, I'll just plug it in here, 8x plus 5. So 8 times 10 plus 5. Well, what's 8 times 10? That's 80 plus 5, and 80 plus 5 is 85. So SRV is 85 degrees. And guess what? We also know that TRV is also 85 degrees. So they're asking us for SRT. So SRT is the big angle. So you just have to take the two small parts and add them together. So you got 85 plus 85. 5 plus 5 is 10. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 1. That's 17. So the measure of angle SRT is equal to 170 degrees. Okay, and so on your test you may have a writing one that is very similar to this, and that's all you got to do is kind of work this out and then explain to me step by step what you did. You don't have to tell me specifically, I took 4x over here and then I took the 5 over here and all that, but you have to give me the general gist of what you're doing. Okay, so make sure you go over the evens here and finish the odds for those bonus points, and I think you'll do really well on our test. See you later. Bye.